God's promises are so true and valid that He could prove them to a man just to make the man believe and continue to have hope. An example is when God made a promise to Abraham. He swore an oath so that by two immutable things, an oath and a promise, it was impossible for God to lie, so that we can have a hope, so that you can have a hope for what is laid in front of you. Therefore, keep believing that God would do it for you. Put your whole trust in God and Him only. He will not change. He will do it. He will make you bigger than ever. It doesn't even matter if or not there seems to be a way. God is specialized in making ways amid all bad situations. Isaiah 43 verse 19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." God is capable of handling every situation. Remember that our God parted the wild, wide Red Sea. So even if you're in a place where it's as though there's no way out, do not be discouraged. You have a mighty one by your side. Romans 8 verse 28, "We are assured and know that God, being a partner in their labor, all things work together and are fitting into a plan for good to and for those who love God and are called according to His design and purpose." In the verse above, we see that God is our partner, and because of this, we can know that every life challenge and situation can be turned into something bigger. After all, every child of God has overcome the world, for our faith is the victorious power that triumphs over the world. You are the world conqueror, because you have believed in Jesus. Because of this, your victory is so sure. God honors His word more than all His name, and if He has said that your faith has overcome the world, then the fact that you will be bigger than ever is so sure, and it's on its way to fulfillment. While it can be difficult to trust or understand God and want the situation to be over as soon as possible, none of God's plans over you can be frustrated. None of it. There's no way the enemy would bring our God's plan to have no effect over you. How would they do it? Our God is the one who causes your enemies to come in one way and flee in several ways. The Lord Himself has promised to make you bigger than you can think, ask, or imagine. He has set the table. He is determined and set out plans for your life. And He has stretched forth His hands to design your life. Who dares to stand against Him? Even Job recognized this and said, "I'm convinced you can do anything and everything. Nothing and no one can upset your plans. You will be bigger than you've ever thought or imagined. God's plan for you is that you would be a great success. He has plans of good and not of evil, to give you a beautiful end." There are several scriptures of God's plans for us, and each of these shows us that the plans of God are good, bigger than we've ever thought or imagined. He plans to make us greater, bigger, and more successful. God will never disappoint you. Surrender to Him and let your focus remain on Him, so that something big can come to you. Let your heart remain focused on God, not on all the disruptions and disturbances of the winds or storm. Keep calm, surrender the situation to God, and trust in Him, and you will see that you will be bigger than ever. Keep your heart restrained. Don't let doubts begin to disturb you. Don't listen to the voices of what-ifs. No, don't go around wondering what you won't receive your huge blessing from God. Don't think that you'll be drained by this situation. Always keep your trust in God. It's the way to receive from Him. For we don't win or overcome by our power, strength, or will, but rather by the power of God. The world is enraged with so many situations, and many times, while you just got through one today and you're celebrating, only to have a new one come up to stare you in the face. However, be of good cheer, for you're a victor and have overcome the world. This is why you ought to keep trusting in God, so that He can keep helping you to win over life situation each time it shows up. Irrespective of what you might be going through, God will intervene in it and He will make you bigger than ever. His power is that which holds the universe together. There's nothing He cannot do for you. Yes, God favors and blesses His own. Especially, He favors the inhabitants of Zion. Especially, God's unending favor and blessings are with the believers. God is extremely pleased to favor His children and to establish them, to bless them and prosper them. God is more interested in these people than their early fathers ever could. This means that God learned what matured you to make you bigger than you could ever think or imagine. God's power is present even when you don't know how He's working or see how He's working. He has made promises to you and He will fulfill them to you. He will make of you something that you've never thought or imagined. God will raise you and He would strengthen you. He would give you breakthroughs you've never imagined before. The ways of God are not the ways of men. The thoughts of God are higher than our thoughts. This means that whatsoever good you think can come your way, God can do bigger than those things and desires in you. God has not planned that you, the new creation, would fail. It has never crossed His mind, and it will not. He's your Father, and He's so committed to giving good gifts to you as His child. God has good plans for you, not evil plans, and He will give you an expected end. Just because things are hard presently or because things aren't going the way they ought to, doesn't mean that God isn't with you. It doesn't mean that defeat is yours. No, don't give up. Choose to continue going. Choose to keep on confessing the Word of God. Remember that even if you don't see it, God is working for your good. He's working behind the scenes, and He will make sure that all of your life situations and challenges are fitting perfectly into a marvelous plan. He's making sure that you receive something bigger than you've ever had before. Keep calm, be patient, and trust in God, for something big is coming your way. Whatever stage you're in life, God can take you to the next bigger level. Imagine somewhere bigger and better than you are now. Then imagine somewhere bigger than that. God can do beyond what you've thought of. He's telling you today that He's committed to seeing that you become bigger than ever.